called him an idiot.
It was really.
I called him an
pat
idiot.
yourself on the back. Time for Nick to hand out some NBA medals. Busy weekend. James Harden, 28 last night in Toronto, led the Nets to a win over the Raptors. Brooklyn's won 5 in a row. How about that? But Harden just missing out on a medal. Nick, which 3 guys were podium worthy this weekend?
Huge fourth quarter for James Harden last night. The only person happier than Harden was Kurt Hyland. You'll get that if you follow me on Twitter. Bronze medal, Julius Randle. The Knicks have been getting bing-bonged on the head a bunch lately, but not against the Bucks. The defending champs, Julius Randle, 32-12. That's a great game by him, and one the Knicks needed. Unfortunately, they then lost again yesterday. Silver medal, Ricky Rubio. Career high, 37. 10 assists, 8 of 9 for 3 against those very Knicks. Look at Ricky Rubio still crushing fools. And then the gold medalist. Show me the highlight. We've waited all year for my large adult Slovenian son to be atop the podium. And guess how he gets there? With a game-winning buzzer beater against the woeful, imploding Boston Celtics. Here it is. Tick, tick, tick. Bam-o! Game winner. Go home, Boston. Terrible flight home, thinking about that and how they blew it at the end. There's your podium. Who missed the cut? Tell me. That is a perfect podium.
So much joy. Oh, Kevin Wild.
Pretty good.
Who missed the cut?
Oh, it's the reigning NBA Finals champion, Giannis. Watch Giannis after this made bucket. Giannis just ready to go. Do you want to be out of bounds? No, I don't have to go. I'm just going to dribble. Like, hold on. Really? Not a violation. I guess it just goes down as just like a funny play. Not a violation. Look, he starts dribbling. You know, what's going on here? Just missed the cut.
And some Broncos and Cowboys yesterday. The Cowboys had Dak Prescott in this one, though if you watch the game, you'd think they did not. Denver's defense with the clear-cut stars yesterday. Boy, they slowed down Dallas's offense, the NFL's #1 scoring offense, to a screeching halt. Dallas on their way to getting shut out before 2 garbage time TDs made the score look a little better, at least. So a healthy dose of adversity, perhaps, for Dallas, who had come in winners of 6 in a row. Dak said afterwards, hey, we were just bad in this one. That's all it is. I felt healthy. The calf felt good. We were just bad. Nick, was the 30-16 loss to the Broncos cause for concern, or was it just a blip for the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, there are no blips when you're trying to win a Super Bowl and when you're trying to be the 1 seed. This was awful. And I'm going to give Dak the benefit of the doubt that he wasn't fully healthy or that he was rusty. They had the bye. He misses a game because, I mean, Dak at one point, they showed that he was like 5 of 16 for 70-some yards. And it was 30-0 with 5 minutes left. 30-16 is wildly misleading. The Broncos dominated every single phase of this game. And this is awful for Dallas. Dallas had a real shot, and I guess still has, a real shot at the 1 seed. But you got to win these types of games. You know who the Broncos think they are? Not any good. You know how I know that? They traded away their best defensive player mid-season at 4-4 because they know they're not doing anything this year. Dallas has to win that game, Greg. And all of a sudden, you look at Dallas, it's like, hey, what's the next month look like? Oh, Atlanta? Oh, the all of a sudden 500 Atlanta Falcons? At Kansas City? The all of a sudden above 500 Kansas City Chiefs? Home for the Raiders, and then at New Orleans. That next month is the toughest month of their season. To go into it with a loss, where if we're being honest, Greg, they looked like they overlooked the Broncos. That, to me, is an indictment on coaching to a degree. It's an awful loss. Now, do I still think they're an excellent team? I do. But I think that that loss will resonate throughout the rest of the year as they fight for playoff seeding, as they fight for the 1 seed.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I just don't agree with it was more than a blip. I think it was just a blip. This is what Dak Prescott said in the press conference. We were just bad. They were bad in every and all aspects. Offensively, defensively, special teams, you name it, they were bad. And the reason why I believe it to be a blip is because prior to Dak Prescott getting injured, this team averaged 35 points a game. So we know that they can put up points. They can light up the scoreboard. Defensively, they create turnovers. They didn't do that. They gave up so many big plays, which is something that they have to fix, which is they've done that all year. But they've never not scored points, Nick. This is wild. So when I look at this team, this had to be a blip. Amari Cooper had not had a drop all year, and he has a drop. It's you have these types of games, you take them on the chin, and you move forward. Should they have won it? Yes. Trap game, you can't overlook any opponent. Not saying that they did, but typically that's what happens when you expect to be the team like the Denver Broncos coming into your house.
All right, so Greg, I want to break down 3 types of losses, big blowout losses. So the first big blowout loss that I'm okay with, if you get out-schemed. The opposing team figures something out about your team, exploits it over and over and over. Second type of loss, like, we weren't at full strength. We saw that's more of like the Chiefs last year in the Super Bowl. Offensive line is banged up, we weren't at full strength, and everything kind of falls apart from there. Also, I'm generally okay with that. This loss, though, is an effort and focus loss, which I'm not okay with at all, and I think is a real cause for concern. If we can put up Dak's quote, Dak's basically like, yeah, we weren't paying attention. When you win a game like we did last week against the Vikings on the road in a tough environment with everything going against us, I think sometimes you can think you can just roll out there and get it done. Leighton Vander Esch also said, need this to happen so we stay awake. Greg, these quotes to me show me a team that is not used to winning, that won 6 games, and all of a sudden it's like, you know what? We looked at the analytics. And the Dallas Cowboys have never started 6-1 and not made the playoffs, so let's take our foot off the gas. I don't know how much of it is coaching, Nick blamed coaching, or how much of it is on the players. I feel like if I was wearing a Dallas Cowboys star, I wouldn't need Mike McCarthy to yell at me to get up for one of the 17 games I play in the entire year. So do you put it on coaching? Do you put it on the players? And do you think the lack of focus is as big a deal as I do?
Well, I'll say this. I think all of it played a part. And I think the lack of focus is a big deal. However, I'm not just going to say the Cowboys just lost this game. The Denver Broncos came in and punched them in the mouth every single time they had an opportunity to. And that's what caused them to stumble. That's what caused them to not be able to look the same as we've seen them in the past, throwing the ball, Dak Prescott putting the game on his shoulders. They couldn't turn around and just say, here, let's run the ball with our 2-headed monster in the backfield. They could never get it going because their primary source of offense and energy comes from their quarterback. And he was off, whether that be because of the calf injury, whether that be because of, like Nick, you alluded to, the time off. However, it played a role and it showed up and it came to bite them. The Broncos got the better of them.
And there's a few things that should be noted. One is Tyron Smith was